my name is Lotta and welcome to my Nook. In today's video I'm going to talk about all the books I read in the month of May. So let's get on with it. So the first book I read was The Traitor Queen by Danielle L. Jensen. This is the second book in the Bridge Kingdom series and it's amazing. I really like this book. I gave it 5 stars. It just follows up on the Bridge Kingdom story. I always find it so hard to do a wrap up about books that are not the first book in the series, because I can tell you what this book is about, but I would spoil the Bridge Kingdom for you. So I'm not going to do that. It's just a very adventurous book. So if you like that kind of stuff and with a lot of politics in it, you should definitely read The Bridge Kingdom, and after that The Traitor Queen. Then the second book I read is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, and I gave this book 3.5 stars. I know a lot of people really like this book, but for me it was just a little bit too long. It has, let me see, over 500 pages. And I just believe the story could have been told in 300 pages and I would like it much more. It was just a little bit too slow for me, but I know a lot of people really like slow-paced books. So if you do, I think you will definitely enjoy this book. But for me, it was just a little bit too slow-paced. The story is about a girl who works for the queen and she has to retrieve someone who broke the law, but then some things happen and it gets very adventurous, and I really like, I mean the story, I really liked it, but it was just a little bit too long for me. So for me, I couldn't give it more than 3.5 stars because it took me forever to finish it. Even though I did like the story, but I just wasn't constantly wanting to pick it up. So that's why I gave it 3.5 stars. There is also a second one in this series, and I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna pick it up. Maybe I think I'm gonna pick it up eventually, but I don't think it will be very soon. Then I read The Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood, and I think almost everyone has read this one. I was delaying it a little bit because with hyped books, sometimes it gets really difficult because your expectations are so high that the book will always disappoint you. So I waited a bit, I lowered my expectations, and I really like this book and I gave it 5 stars. Also, this book has many bonus points for me because there is a little bit of Dutch in it, which is just really exciting to read when you're a Dutch person. So yeah, I really like that. Also, I wasn't expecting, I mean, I saw this one at the bookshop near my home. It was laying at the young adult section, so I wasn't expecting any spice, and then at the end, whoop, it was really refreshing, the kind of spice that was in this book, and I just really like it. Also, I really love the trope of fake dating, so it was a great book. Then I read The Wicked King by Holly Black, and this is the second book in the Airfolk. I always forget what it's called. It doesn't matter. The first book is The Cruel Prince. I like this book even better than The Cruel Prince. I thought it was really well written and the story was amazing. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you too much about the story because this is the second book. It's so difficult, but yeah, also a lot of adventures. I really like this one, and I'm going to read the third and final book in this series this month, so really excited to see how that ends. But I gave this one 5 stars. I even like it more than The Cruel Prince. Then I read Verity by Colleen Hoover. This was my first Colleen Hoover read ever, so I was really excited, and it did not disappoint. I gave it 5 stars. I loved every bit of it. And I was just, when I read the first few pages, I already felt like I was watching a thriller movie, which was great. The suspense, I loved it. And I'm now forcing all of my friends to read this one, including my boyfriend, although he's a little bit hesitant. But yeah, I really like it. The book is about a writer who has been asked to finish the series of another author because she has been in a terrible accident. She decides to do it and then has to move in with the husband of the author who has fallen ill. Hey. And then some strange things happen. Let me leave it at that. But it was a great read, 5 stars. I highly recommend. Then I read A Strange Hymn by Laura Thalassa. I should look up how to pronounce it, but I refuse to do it every time. But this is the second book in the Bargainer series, and I really, really enjoyed it. I was a little bit afraid that I wouldn't like this book because there's already the tension of the relationship is gone because it's the second book, which is probably true for most of the second books in any series. But it did not disappoint. I really liked it, and I immediately ordered the third book after I finished it. So I gave it 5 stars, and it was amazing. Then I read Punishing Thirst by Olivia Fox, and this was just an accidental read. Well, not actually accidental, but it was offered to me free by a service I use for audiobooks, but this one was not an audiobook, but just a physical, just an e-read. I read it. It was okay. I mean, it was really short, and it was almost entirely spicy scenes, which I'm not complaining about, but it was a really easy read. Not much to the plot. But I did enjoy myself, so I ended up giving it 3 stars. It's about a girl who escapes her hometown because she has an ex who's been stalking her. And then she works at her aunt's place and she meets a man named Dante. And yeah, I can't tell you anything else without spoiling everything. So also would not highly recommend it. If you have the chance to read it for free, sure, give it a go, but I wouldn't spend a lot of money on it, to be honest. And then I read The Towering Sky by Catherine McGee, which is the third and final book in this series, and I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It was just, I got a little bit the feeling which you have with some TV shows, that they just keep on making seasons, and eventually it's okay to watch, but it's not like groundbreaking or anything. So I really enjoyed it, but it was not the best thing I ever read. But I'm really happy that I finished the series, and I really enjoyed the series. So if you like Gossip Girl, this is kind of a sci-fi Gossip Girl. Sorry, I have hay fever. Ugh. Yeah, I really enjoyed this, and also happy that I believe this is the first series I finished this year, so that is amazing. Then I read There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. At the moment I don't have the book because I lent it to a friend of mine, and Sophie Lark made me realize some things. I mean, there are some tropes in this book that I didn't know I would like, but now I know I do, and I don't know what that says about me. But it is about 2 men who are, I mean, really bad men, really, really bad men, and a girl who gets kidnapped. And I mean, you do definitely for this book have to read the trigger warnings, because there are a lot, and I'm currently reading the second book, also liking it. But yeah, I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a really quick read. I read it in 1 sitting, and now also forcing all my friends to read it, so yes. Then I read The Royal Rabbits of London, and I'm not gonna pronounce the author name because, okay, I'm gonna do it. Santa Montefiore, Simon Sebag Montefiore. Yeah, this book has been on my TBR for the longest, and I'm really happy I read it. It was a really good read. It was a really sweet story. It's about a rabbit who is a little bit of the disappointment of the family. He's not as tough, he's not as strong, he's a bit shy, but then he goes on an adventure, and it was a really, really sweet read. Also very quick, and there are some beautiful drawings in there. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 5 stars, 4 stars and not 5 stars, just because it is such a short book and I don't tend to give really short books 5 stars. Because it is so short, you can't put everything in it that I would want to see in it. So that's the reason why I gave 4 stars and not 5 stars. But I really liked it and happy I can cross it off my TBR. And then the last book I read in the month of May was The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. And this book I read for the literature book club. And it's also the first book I annotated. And I mean, I get why people annotate now. Because this feeling to do this, it's so amazing. So, yeah. As you can see, I'm not really good at it because they're not all the same length, but I really enjoyed it. And also now, when we're going to discuss the book, I really find it helpful that I can just look up the tabs and discuss the book. So yeah, that's great. But The Kiss Quotient is about a woman who has autism and hires the service of an escort, but he's going to help her how to act in all the situations that you have when you have a boyfriend, because her parents really want her to have a boyfriend and eventually a husband, but as for now it hasn't been working out. So he's going to help her and it goes on from there. I really enjoyed this book and I'm definitely picking up some more books by this author because I really enjoyed the writing. So those were all the books I read in the month of May. I did the dessert-a-thon and I finished the entire board. Really proud of myself. And I read 11 books. I mean, I'm really nailing this thing. I mean, a couple of months ago, I could not read more than 5 books. And now I'm above 10, like almost every month. So that is really great. Please let me know if you have read any of these books or if you're now going to read any of these books. I would love to know. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment because I would love to chat with you every day. And I'll see you next time. Doei!